Full Send Golf.
You guys know how much I really, really love golf.
Full Send Golf, 2v2. Me and VOD versus Big John and Kyle. Oh, it feels good to be back. On the links with the boys.
Join the party on the golf course.
Back to golf in a big way. Now what, practice? Let's go hit the range.
I was like, let's go to the range.
We are headed to the golf cart. Yo, you want to golf with us?
No.
You don't play golf?
No.
Try. We got to break par.
I'm very, very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Hour number 3 underway. It's Thursday, June 25th, right here on Jocks, JocksFM.com, where you can listen online. The app is in your app store, iPhone, Android. Download that for free. You can listen on the go. James Colgan will join us tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Very different twist on the Georgia offseason that he will discuss with us. 8 a.m. tomorrow right here on the show. If you recognize the name, yes, he is the gentleman who covers golf that has joined us before. But we'll discuss the Georgia football offseason tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. He joins us each and every week at this time. Thanks to our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly. It's the coach, Wimp Sanderson.
Well,
Coach, how you doing?
okay, they must not have had lawyers when I was coaching. We had freshman teams, and we only had 3 years of. You only had 3 years of eligibility. You played 3 years. You played on the freshman team. If you were unhappy on the freshman team, for some other reason, you felt like you were never going to play on the varsity, or you didn't have a good freshman season, you could put yourself in the transfer portal, which you didn't much. And if you put yourself in there, you could have to lay out the 1 year. So it was a little bit different there. So now the 5-and-5 rule, we have so many cotton picking rules. I don't know if y'all want to comment on that or not, because I want to ask you about practice in a minute. Any thoughts at all? Have y'all? I guess you brought that up.
No, we've mentioned some of the changes that are coming. I think it's dangerous right now in football going into a season to remove practices because of how far behind certain aspects of football are, mainly blocking, tackling. And the only way to do that is to do it full speed in pads against other people trying to make you look bad. So removing those is not going to improve that part of the game that we watch. So, there are parts of it that we view as very, I'm going to be honest with you, Coach, dangerous from an injury perspective. Yeah. But, that's where we're headed.
Well, I know you were at skill position, you think. But, Greg, you were at skill position. Is it cutting back things before practice, trying to decide who your quarterback's going to be, try to decide maybe if you already know doing things? Doesn't that hurt you don't you need as many practices preseason right before your game as you can get? Am I wrong on that?
I'm just trying to figure out what's forcing this. I remember in 2011, when I got drafted in the NFL, we were in the midst of a lockout. And one of the lockout CBA agreements that the players pushed for, because the players union was ultimately, we were trying to figure out what things were going to look like with the NFL owners. The NFL owners were not budging on the financial terms. So that wasn't happening. So what the players union did, and the older players basically comprised, there was no rookie representation on the NFLPA advisory board. There's none. So what they did, they instituted a rookie cap, which made sense. I understood that because the rookies were making an inordinate amount of money. So the rookies got crushed. And then the developmental rookies got crushed too, because they also said, all right, you know what? If you're not going to budge on finances, we want less practices. No more 2-a-days, 1 padded practice a week, what have you. They put in all these. Yeah. So that was because that's what the players wanted to extend their careers, keep the rookies out, keep the developmental players out. But the older guys that are actually on the advisory board got to play a couple years longer because they're not practicing as much. So it made sense. But I'm trying to figure out, is there a players union that's pushing back on the practice time? Where are these changes coming from?
Well, they have a FBS committee. I don't know what I guess Football Coaches Association, who are, everything that we do is looking like they're trying to change everything, and it just doesn't work out. the political thing that they're trying to fix, and SEC and the Big Ten don't particularly like it. They're going to put that Coach when Coach Saban talked about it, he was positive, but I'm not sure that Coach knew everything about it at that time. But they're going to propose that to Congress now with all this thing that's been said. I can tell both of you right now it's going to pass. And I'm going to tell you why it's going to pass. Because Congress doesn't know anything about football or basketball or the rules. They just know there's going to be a change. And if there's a change from what they're doing, they're going to vote favorably. I guarantee you, for both of you, that when they get ready to vote on this, and after it's presented, all these rules are going to change. I think. I don't know.
Do you think the 5-for-5 with it starting upon enrollment or at the 19th birthday of the individual is the way to go about it?
Well, I guess you've got to come up with some idea that keeps people from coming in from every direction in the world, in football and basketball. I think it does clarify something. Cole, I think we just don't have much clarification in what we're trying to do. I don't think, and when we have people vote, when you get ready to propose this to Congress, Tuberville, who's the football guy that is up there, knows goes one way and the SEC goes another way, and we're on and on with it. So I do think that to answer your question, it clarifies a little bit of what's going on. I think that helps. I don't know. You mentioned Georgia and Georgia's football. I think Auburn's doing a lot better job in their football recruiting. I think Alabama, because I listen to people all the time, they get all upset about Alabama recruiting 3-stars. I'm not a star man myself. I think stars for the media. You don't know whether he's 3-star or 5-star. Basically, I don't think my son doesn't agree with me. But I think if you are able, and I think Georgia did this first. I know they got a state full of players, but I think they made the guy, not made the guy, but talked the guy into coming with them who they felt had great ability. But they weren't going to give him the whole farm to get him. They were going to do what they possibly could, and they knew that somebody else was going to offer him more. But they were able. Kirby was able to do that a pretty good job of that. I think Alabama is doing. I think it's going to do a good job of that. I think the longer, and I want Greg and you both to mention this, and I'll get away on the show. But I think the longer you stay, if your assistant coaches come into your head coach, into your general manager and say, we need to take this guy, and this guy visits your campus, and he's an offensive player, and he talks to the defensive people. I mean, everybody gets a feel for him. And you feel like he's got a chance to be good, not quite ready now, but you keep him and you make him better. We don't make people better players. We help them get better. I don't make a guy shoot 3-point shots better. Unless I ask him to maybe raise his elbow or something. He works because he shoots 3-point shots better because he works at it. But I think the way Alabama is doing it, and it may fall on their face, but I think recruiting guys who they think can play. I want your comments on this. And staying with offensive line, staying with defensive linemen. If they're good, then you change the coach, which they've done, or you change 2 or 3 of the offensive line, but get rid of the ones who don't can play. Comments on that for our listeners.
Well, I think that when you look at the retention level of the guys that have been recruited by and brought in by Kalen DeBoer, it's actually really good. And as Greg has pointed out on the show before, this signing class will not be massive because of that, because of some of that retention. Having guys in your program that develop your way for your system, within your system, is extremely valuable and rare this day and age. I think what you discussed earlier of getting guys you believe can play and getting guys you know can play, that's just basically the portal in high school right now. You use the portal to get guys that you know can do something. You get high school guys that you think can do something. It's just what it is. So you still have to have that balance, but I would be happiest about the retention of the players that Kalen DeBoer and his staff have recruited themselves than maybe anything else if I was an Alabama fan right now.
They've recruited in the last 2 recruiting classes 48 guys. Both of the last 2 recruiting classes finished in the top 3. Of those 48 guys, 47 are still on the roster.
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty sporty.
I think it is sporty, and I think they're getting this guy. He's not as good as this other guy, but I think you work hard with a guy who wants to work, and then you turn around with your assistant coach. He brings in somebody, and he falls on his face. He's not very good off the field, and he's not as good on the field as you thought, and things are not going good for him. And you suggest to him that he goes 88 and out the gate. But if you have a better shot of thinking, and if it doesn't work, guess what? You lose your job. But I think that's a good way. I think he's always done it that way. I kind of studied him a little bit with things like that prior to coming to Alabama. So, and I think Auburn is getting a lot of linemen, 4 stars, if you want to call them stars. I don't know if they are or not, but they're getting some good players as well. So. That's about all I got for y'all today.
What did you think of the NBA draft?
I thought it was okay. It was good. I don't know a lot of those guys like I used to. When I had all my guys drafted, I was right there every second watching everything and up there sometimes.
Have you heard of an Exhibit 10 contract?
No.
Neither had we. It's okay.
Sure. No.
It's basically a preferred walk-on, Coach.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Probably preferred walk-on, but the draft's okay, and don't for me, don't tell me how good you are. Show me, and they showed you.
But there was one narrative coming out of the draft that I found interesting, and that was a couple of folks in the media going after some of the representation of players. Do you feel like that's fair? Of guys that maybe people that observe college basketball felt like representation pushed them into the draft, and then they ended up not going in the first round, not going near as high as they thought, and maybe would be making more money playing college basketball this year than they would in the NBA, where they're going to be.
Well, there's not any doubt that college basketball is in competition with professional basketball right now. You're making just as much or more in some cases, and that's very, very interesting and very different for a guy like me who's 100 years old and didn't see that. So it's quite different, and makes you want to stay. The 5-on-5 rule is a junior college guy can go to a junior, which may hurt high school kids. A junior college kid can go and play good junior college basketball and have 3 years of eligibility, where he just been having 2. When I went to the junior college I used to go to the junior colleges occasionally to get somebody to fill a gap for us when I was either assistant coach or head coach at Alabama, kind of a gap filler. For the junior college guy, he can be more the gap filler. He can be a guy who can play 3 years. So whatever you do, you're gonna have a lawsuit. It just is. We're sitting here talking about 1,000 different things in an argument about whether 16 or 24 are going to play in the playoff, and we don't know that. So it's all stirred up. I don't have the answer to it, and you guys. Great football guys. I enjoy trying to ask you decent football questions because I get some great answers from you. So, anyway, that's it. That's all I know.
We always appreciate the time. We know each and every week you're brought to us by our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly.
Well, Coke and Piggly Wiggly, I'm going to be having lunch today with the Piggly Wiggly people in Birmingham. They're nice guys, Stanley and Andy and all of them. And Coke is a great product as well. They have been big supporters of Alabama basketball when I was there. Did my first radio show after advertised by Coke. So anyway, Coke and Piggly Wiggly bring me on. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Coach. Thank you. All right, that's the coach, Wimp Sanderson. He joins us each and every week thanks to Coke and Piggly Wiggly. He's on the Higginbotham hotline. Andrew Ivan's coming up in 15 minutes, talk recruiting. But John Saber asked us an interesting question before the show that I want to ask you. We'll share it next on Jocks.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, and Three-Man Front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.
Hey there, I'm Paula Pan. I help people make the smartest money decisions possible.
If you don't control your money, it controls you.
Yeah, you're not in control of your finances, and you have to look outside of yourself to live the life that you want. You're not in control. You're like,
what is it that you actually want? Money should follow the dreams and goals, because sometimes we make the dream and goal the money, and you've overworked yourself and you've exceeded what you've needed for the actual thing you want. Sometimes we forget, what's the actual thing you want?
Afford anything. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.